Ready. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our 7th annual ECE conference. This is our last presenter of the day, and I have had the privilege of working with her throughout this process. And she is actually a student here at UAGC. So I'm really excited to introduce you to Elizabeth Fowler. She is currently finishing up her bachelor's in early childhood administration here at UAGC. She actually serves as the director of operations at Primrose School of Mount Juliet. She's been in the field for 20 years. So I'm really excited to hear what she has to share with us. She finds that this field is always new and always challenging. So we know she is truly an educator of young children. And some advice she'd like to give to new teachers and to students who are in the field is take the good with the bad, always listen to constructive criticism and be open-minded. Every day is a new day. Remember to shake off your personal life at the door each day. Spoken like a true administrator, Ms. Fowler. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And you can go ahead and click on the next slide.
Perfect. Welcome, Ms. Fowler. Today, we want to take a moment just to request your attention for just a minute before we jump into our presentation. In the spirit of transparency and respect for our community, we have some information we'd like you to read in the on-screen disclaimer. By taking a few moments to read through the disclaimer, you empower yourself with the pertinent information regarding the boundaries of our knowledge-sharing community. Pause just for a minute. All right, next slide, Ms. Fowler. Great. Take a moment to read through this slide also. Then together, alongside our presenter, Ms. Fowler, we are going to embark on an exciting session where we push boundaries and leave an indelible mark on the ever-evolving landscape of early childhood education. All right, Ms. Fowler, without further ado, the floor is yours.
Well, I am super excited to be here. This is super exciting for me. A little more about me. I, again, started eons ago in the world of early childhood education. And one of the things that got me into the business was I wanted to go to work with my children every day. I didn't want to drop them off somewhere that I was going to allow someone else to take care of them. I wanted to be with them. So I went into this thinking it was going to be temporary. It's a little more permanent than I thought. My children are now 19 and 21, and I am still kicking, and I absolutely adore everything early childhood education. So my presentation is on positive discipline and positive reinforcement. Those probably sound, I guess, like a little bit of an oxymoron. You don't really hear positive and discipline together or positive reinforcement together. So positive discipline is a method used by teachers and parents that allow us to reflect, praise, and encourage positive behaviors while ignoring less desirable behaviors. Just today, I was talking with one of my teachers about it. So I'm excited to get with you guys and kind of share a little bit of my knowledge about it. What does positive discipline look like? It's kind and firm. It encourages connections. It's effective long-term, and it supports social and promotes independence. You're going to see a lot of stuff throughout this that you can kind of pick up. And if you guys have questions at the end, don't hesitate to ask. I tend to talk fast, so if you need to, just ask questions. So I've added a little video. This is a little bit of what positive discipline looks like.
I like it when you're sharing them and taking turns. While he's doing that, can you get the next one going? Wow, sitting up top. Way to go. Thanksy, I'm glad you're still working. What
You know, right? Don't even say it. You know, like, you know, in your brain. Okay, here we go. Red table. Can't hear him at all. Can you hear him? Can't hear him. Can't hear him. Notice that was kind of a long time for you to sit still. I gotta tell you, you really watched me and kept your eyes on me. I got a little excited, but you got your mouth and you got yourself back under control. So I'm really proud of you. Thanks, Lucy. Have a seat.
Okay, so as you can kind of see in the video, she really opens up with the children. I like the way you're continuing to work on that. I know that was hard for you, but you did a good job. So when you're using positive discipline, you're gonna wanna dote on the positive. So that's kind of like an example of what you're seeing. This is kind of, you know, as a teacher or an educator or a preschool teacher, how many times have you yourself said the word no, stop that, don't do that in a day? If you ever go back and kind of count, it might surprise you how many times a day you personally say it. Funny story about me and how I got, you know, into positive discipline. I was a new teacher. I was an assistant teacher in the 3-year-old room, and we had a cafeteria that we went to. And in the cafeteria, there was an office outside the cafeteria that had our owner and director inside of it. I guess she had heard me count or say no at the meal table 5 or 6 times while we were sitting there. And she came out and she was not very happy with me. And she said, I've not heard a single positive thing come out of your mouth. She said, I really want you to quit using the word no, stop that, don't do that. And I never realized how much I said it until she told me to put a rubber band around my wrist. And every time I said it, I was to pop myself. I will be honest that I stopped real quick. Once you start, you know, putting it into perspective to know how many times you say it can be a little surprising. But how does this help you as a teacher? How does this help you as an educator? It really can reduce your stress and make your classroom environment much more enjoyable. It's a great way to flip the script and make it a positive environment. I know as a teacher, it's very difficult to constantly point out the negatives. You go home, you're exhausted, you didn't find any joy throughout the day. So flipping that can really help you as a caregiver just enjoy your job, and you can really truly enjoy the children. So how do you do positive discipline? One of the big things for positive discipline is it is kind and it is firm. When you are using positive discipline, one of the big things is you should always maintain a calm and understanding voice. In the video, I don't know if you saw the teacher, she would get down on the child's level, and she was very, you know, I know that was hard for you. So she's recognizing the struggle, but, you know, giving that reinforcement that they met that struggle, they exceeded that struggle, and they're doing a great job at what they're doing. Have clear and consistent boundaries. This is something that I think a lot of teachers struggle with. When you are setting boundaries, you need to make sure that you are consistent in those boundaries, no matter what they are. It's very important that if you say no today to something, you're going to say no to it tomorrow. Children remember, and they will be quick to remember and know that, you know, hey, yesterday she told me no, but today she told me yes. So always make sure that those boundaries are clear and consistent. It can take about 2 weeks of this. So when you're doing it and setting those boundaries, keep in mind that, you know, the first couple of weeks are hard. When you're trying to flip the script and, you know, turn your classroom into this positive environment, it can be difficult, especially if you're used to the no's, the stop that's, don't do that. So just give yourself a little grace. Make sure that you remember your consistent boundaries, and then stick with them. Choices you can live with. This is a huge one in positive discipline and positive reinforcement. So you are going to set choices that you can live with, which looks like, I like to use this one a lot with my teachers. You know, a lot of times when the children are playing outside and two children have gotten to an altercation, a lot of people, the first thing you want to do is set the child down. If that child has a lot of energy and needs that time to run around, that's probably not the best choice for you. So you might want to do, let's take a walk together, hold their hand and walk for a few minutes and discuss the situation. Another thing is, if the children are throwing a temper tantrum and you need to give them choices, children have very little control over their lives, and giving these choices make them feel important. It makes them feel like that they have a choice in what's happening. So make sure you offer those choices. Little Susie's in the kitchen. She's throwing a fit. She's very angry. Give her choices. Hey, Susie, we can go to the book center and read, or we can go to the Legos and build. What we can't do is throw a temper tantrum right now. So let's see what we can do to make that better. Make sure it's always choices that you can live with, particularly with your own children. A lot of times with our own children, we'll do things like, well, if you don't do this, you're not going to go to that birthday party. Is that really a punishment we're going to follow through with? Probably not. So make sure that these types of things are choices that you can live with as well as the child. Use kind and encouraging words. This is so huge. Our presenter before us was talking about these kind and encouraging words quite a bit. I was enjoying listening to that one as well. So using those kind words, a good example is if you are sitting at circle time and not everyone's listening, throw out, I love the way Jane is sitting crisscross applesauce on the circle time rug. Go Jane, go Jane. Make a big deal out of it. The other children are going to want to fall in line. They're going to want that praise. They're going to want you to talk about what a great job they're doing. And always have developmentally appropriate expectations. Particularly in the classroom, I think we all forget that they're, at the end of the day, they're children. They're going to have temper tantrums. They're going to put hands on each other. They're going to be a little aggressive. It's all about how we react to that and make sure that we're setting the standard to be developmentally appropriate. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll head on to the next slide. This is a little bit of that developmentally appropriate. This is something that for me has always registered very deeply with me. If you asked all the animals on the screen to climb the tree, very few are going to be able to pass. Does that make the other animals less intelligent? Does that make them less capable? Absolutely not. So we need to remember that when we are setting our expectations, when we are setting our choices, we need to make sure it's things that they can physically do. We would never expect a fish to climb a tree. So when you're dealing with developmentally appropriate choices, developmentally appropriate boundaries, those are the types of things that you need to keep in mind. What is that child capable of? And adapting to that. I like to tell my older classrooms, preschool, pre-K, boys, they like to move. And a lot of the teachers get very, agitated. Well, they won't sit still. It's being very disruptive. So what can we do to flip that script? Let's try maybe sitting in a chair where they can swing their legs. That motion back and forth can sometimes make it easier for children to concentrate. So instead of just saying, oh, I don't know what to do, let's try other avenues. Definitely speak to other people, get their experience, get what helps. Just always remember that some children can't sit still for 15 minutes during circle time. Some children have a hard time not being rambunctious children. So what can we do to help that child thrive? What can we do to make that child's life a little bit easier in the 8-9 hours we have them in class? So why is this good and effective long-term? It builds trust and strengthens relationships, helping form new connections in a child's brain. I have learned over the years that children who have clear, consistent boundaries love deeply. They will build that trust. You will be their person. They will know that you're not messing around. You're not going to let them get away with anything, but that you love them and that you're there for them. The constant positive reinforcement builds and maintains that self-esteem. If a child knows that they're doing a great job, they're thriving. Teachers teaches children to deal with stress in a healthy way. You're going to see when you start giving these children, these choices. Okay, little Susie, we're not going to throw our crayons today. We can either color with them or we can go read a book. The choice is yours. You're going to see that child say, okay, well, maybe I should color my frustration away. Maybe I should go read a book to, de-escalate myself. So keep in mind that that's a great way to help children deal with their own stress. It also develops a strong understanding that one has a power of or influence over what happens to them in life. I think that's a huge, huge thing right now. A lot of people, children in particular, feel like they don't have any control. They don't have any power. Let's give them a little bit of power. Let's allow these children to make these choices and to help make the classroom a better environment. You really will see a huge difference in children's self-esteem. And once they realize that these choices are there for them, you're really going to see them start to thrive within the classroom. Social and life skills, which is a huge one. And that's one of the big things we teach in preschool. Yes, colors, numbers, shapes, all of that's important, but these children are learning social and life skills, how to button their pants, how to help at lunch, washing hands after potties. People can mock us all they want. This is a huge deal for us. So how does that help? It helps children learn respect. You can definitely, when you're setting your clear and consistent boundaries, one of the things I like to say that, you are allowed to be upset. You are allowed to be angry. What you're not allowed to do is hit me. So I'm going to walk away. It also helps build concern for others. When you're constantly showing concern, you're validating feelings, the children see that, the children respect that, and they're definitely going to feel that. Problem solving and cooperation, giving those choices is going to help with problem solving. This is a way this child's going to think, okay, I've only got A, B, and C to choose from. What do I do? It's going to help that child figure that out. So keep in mind that this is a life skill that you're helping to build. This is one of my favorite quotes. It's not what you do for your children, but what you have taught them to do for themselves that will make them successful human beings. When you go to work, you've completed your day, or you've done classwork and you get an A, what is your initial thought? I rock. I'm doing a great job. And you're going to want to make sure the next time you do it better. You're going to work harder because you're going to be even better than the time before. It's the same concept with the children. Let them know what they excel at, and they will continue to try to receive that praise. Children are just miniature versions of us. We like when we're told we're doing a great job. We like when we've done a great job, when we got that A and we earned that A. We worked hard for it, but we got it. And we know that next time we're going to work harder because we want an A+. So just keep things like that in mind. The good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, the great teacher inspires. As a teacher, we teach, we explain, we demonstrate, but at the end of the day, we inspire. I know with teacher friends, other fellow directors, when it's what you want to be when you grow up day and a child dresses as you, it's the best feeling in the world. When you see that child smile and say, I want to be like you, Miss Elizabeth, that's amazing. You know that at some point in that school year, you have reached that child. You have made that child feel loved. You have made that child gain some social skills and problem solving skills. And now they're ready for the world, and you've created that. So just remember that, we're building blocks for these children. It's a huge deal. I don't know how many of you guys are TikTok fans. I am. It's ridiculous. I know. But I am a huge fan of Mr. Williams Pre-K. And this is kind of a funny twist on a little bit of that clear and consistent boundaries and positive reinforcement. So I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I do.
Pre-K pause. Are you robbing me? You do not need to be pointing that at me. You can use your words. I'll wait. Thank you. Now, do you have a question? Where's the money at? Honey, I'm a teacher. There's no money here. Take you to my valuables. Did you ask nicely? Eyes, nose, and toes forward. Catch a bubble. We're gonna stop it as a 0 in the hallway. Man, you are shouting and we have friends working next door to us. Thank you. We're passing the potty. Do you need to go? I don't know. You're dancing on your feet a lot. When did you go last? Do you want to try? Okay, I have this. This is not a fax machine. It's my laptop. It's a Dell. I don't know, like 12 years old. I do have an iPhone. Yeah. Want this? No, like an iPhone 7? That hurt my feelings. What about my glasses collection? Okay. Some of these are really expensive. I told you I have no money. You get what you get and you do not throw a fit. Of the glasses, you're gonna have nothing. You choose. Honey, I don't see your getaway car. You're sure they're coming to pick you up and you didn't have to take the public bus? Okay, I'll wait with you until they get here. You want more pretzels? What do you say? Here you go.
So as educators, you know,
Pause. Are you rock?
You kind of got to laugh, take the good with the bad. You know, I'm sure for us, this is all a little comical. But that's kind of the end of my slide. I don't know if we have time for questions. If anybody has any questions, I am here.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I think our chat is open so people can put questions